You're wasting 90% of your study time right now, and I can prove it. Every single highlight you make, every hour you spend rereading the same chapter, every all-nighter you pull cramming for exams, it's all scientifically proven to be nearly worthless. But here's the shocking truth that universities don't want you to know. There are 5 brain hacking techniques that can make you learn anything 10 times faster, and they're so simple that a kindergartner could master them in minutes. I discovered these methods after nearly failing out of college, and they transformed me from a struggling D student into someone who could absorb information like a human sponge. By the end of this video, you'll never study the same way again. 2 years ago, I hit rock bottom academically. I was that student who lived in the library, highlighting everything in neon yellow, reading textbook chapters until my eyes bled, and still walking into exams, feeling completely unprepared. The breaking point came during my biology midterm, when I stared at a question about cellular structure and realized I had no idea what a mitochondria actually was. After spending 40 hours that week studying cell biology, I genuinely wondered if mitochondria might be some kind of cartoon character. That moment of complete humiliation changed everything. I was tired of being the hardest working student with the worst grades, so I went on a desperate mission to find out why traditional studying methods were failing me so miserably. That's when I stumbled upon research from Harvard, MIT, and Stanford that completely shattered everything I thought I knew about learning. These weren't feel-good theories or motivational fluff. These were hard scientific facts about how the human brain actually processes and retains information. The most shocking discovery: almost everything we're taught about studying in school is not just wrong, it's actively harmful to learning. The techniques I'm about to share with you are used by memory champions, elite students, and the world's fastest learners, yet somehow, they're kept secret from the millions of students struggling every day. The first technique is called active recall, and it's the complete opposite of everything you've been told about studying. Instead of passively absorbing information like a sponge, you're going to actively hunt for it in your memory. This means closing your textbook, putting away your notes, and forcing your brain to retrieve information without any help. Scientists at Purdue University discovered this method increases retention by 50% compared to traditional rereading, which means you could cut your study time in half while actually learning more. Here's exactly how it works. After reading a chapter or watching a lecture, immediately close everything and write down every single thing you can remember on a blank piece of paper. Your brain will fight you on this because it's uncomfortable, but that discomfort is literally the feeling of your memory getting stronger. When I applied this technique to my biology disaster, I created simple flashcards and tested myself mercilessly every night. The first week was brutal. I got most answers wrong and felt like I was getting dumber. But something magical happened by week 2. Suddenly I could recall complex processes and definitions effortlessly, like they were permanently burned into my brain. The second game-changing technique is spaced repetition, based on a disturbing discovery about human memory. German researcher Hermann Ebbinghaus proved that we forget 70% of new information within 24 hours. Your brain is essentially a broken vault that can't hold onto anything. But here's where it gets interesting. If you review information at precisely calculated intervals, you can hack your brain's forgetting mechanism and make memories permanent. The formula is deceptively simple. Review new material after 1 day, then 3 days, then 1 week, then 1 month. Each review session tells your brain this information is survival critical and moves it deeper into long-term storage. I use this system to memorize hundreds of historical dates from my history course, reviewing just a few dates every couple of days instead of cramming everything before the exam. By test day, I could rattle off dates like the Battle of Hastings in 1066 as easily as reciting my phone number. The third technique might be the most powerful of all: teaching others what you're learning. This is called the Feynman technique, named after Nobel Prize winner Richard Feynman, who insisted that if you couldn't explain something to a child, you didn't truly understand it yourself. When you attempt to teach a concept to someone else, your brain is forced to organize information clearly, identify knowledge gaps, and create connections you never noticed before. Find anyone, a friend, family member, or even record yourself explaining concepts out loud. Use simple, everyday language, and avoid jargon completely. If you stumble or get confused during your explanation, congratulations, you just discovered exactly what you need to study more. When I was drowning in economics, I tried explaining supply and demand to my 10-year-old cousin using textbook terminology, and she stared at me like I was speaking ancient Greek. So I simplified. When everyone wants the newest phone, but there are only 5 left in the store, what happens to the price? She understood instantly. And suddenly the entire concept clicked for me too. Teaching others doesn't just help them learn, it transforms you into a subject matter expert. The fourth technique is about unleashing the incredible power of deep focus, something most students have never experienced. Your brain cannot multitask effectively, period. Every notification, every background conversation, every glance at social media destroys your learning efficiency and forces your brain to constantly restart its processing. Research shows that focused study sessions can cut learning time in half while dramatically improving comprehension. Creating your focus fortress requires ruthless discipline. Find a completely quiet space, physically remove your phone from the room, and use the Pomodoro technique of 25 minutes of laser focus, followed by 5-minute breaks. I learned this lesson through painful trial and error when I attempted to study statistics while scrolling Instagram. What should have taken 30 minutes stretched into 3 agonizing hours, and I retained virtually nothing. Now when I enter focus mode, I become a learning machine that can absorb and process information at superhuman speeds. The fifth technique involves treating your body like the high-performance learning machine it actually is. Your brain consumes 20% of your daily energy, and if you're not fueling it properly, you're sabotaging your academic potential. Harvard Medical School research reveals that sleep-deprived students remember 40% less information, essentially throwing away half their study time. The optimization protocol is surprisingly straightforward. Get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night, because your brain consolidates memories during rest. Eat brain-boosting foods like eggs, nuts, fish, and leafy greens instead of surviving on caffeine and processed junk. Stay properly hydrated throughout the day, and incorporate light exercise like walking, which increases blood flow to the brain and enhances cognitive function. I used to wear sleep deprivation like a badge of honor, pulling all-nighters and chugging energy drinks, but I was actually turning myself into a zombie, with the memory capacity of a goldfish. Once I started treating sleep and nutrition as the foundation of learning, my academic performance exploded. Here's the bonus strategy that ties everything together: developing an unshakable growth mindset. When you encounter difficulty or confusion while learning, that's not a sign of failure. It's evidence that your brain is literally rewiring itself and building new neural pathways. Instead of thinking "I'm terrible at this subject," train yourself to think, "I haven't mastered this skill yet." That single word, "yet," acknowledges that learning is a process, not an instant download. Every world-class expert was once a confused beginner who made embarrassing mistakes and felt completely overwhelmed. When you embrace struggle as a necessary part of growth, rather than evidence of inadequacy, learning becomes an exciting adventure instead of a painful chore. These 5 techniques aren't magic tricks or wishful thinking. They're scientifically validated methods that can transform anyone into a learning powerhouse. Active recall builds memory strength, like weightlifting builds muscle. Spaced repetition prevents the natural decay of information over time. Teaching others forces deep understanding and reveals knowledge gaps. Deep focus maximizes learning efficiency and comprehension. Proper physical care provides the biological foundation for optimal brain performance. Combined with a growth mindset, these strategies will help you learn anything 10 times faster than conventional methods. The students who discover these techniques early gain an unfair advantage that compounds over their entire academic and professional careers. While others struggle with outdated, ineffective study methods, you'll be absorbing information at superhuman speeds and retaining it permanently. You can start implementing these strategies today, right now, with whatever you're currently learning. Choose one technique that resonates most strongly with you and commit to testing it for 1 week. Whether you're mastering calculus, learning a new language, or developing professional skills, these methods will unlock learning abilities you never knew you possessed. Stop wasting time with broken study strategies that were designed to keep you struggling. Your learning revolution starts now.